Mogul Motivation, educating and empowering entrepreneurs 1 week at a time. Presented by True Stories Media. And I am your host, Antoine Twiz Taylor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mogul Motivation. Welcome back. I'm so happy that you are here. This is episode 133, and as always, this podcast is for the aspiring entrepreneur who is trying to get over that hump and make things happen. This podcast is for anybody with a dream that wants to aspire higher and accomplish that dream. I don't ask for any money. This podcast is produced out of pure passion. I only ask for two things. Number one, if this podcast benefits you, adds value to you, and helps you in any way, shape, or form on your entrepreneurial journey, I ask that you pass it on to somebody else who may benefit from it as well. And number two, please leave a review. Let me know what you would like to hear on this podcast. Let me know how this podcast helps you and benefits you on your journey. 2018 has been a very successful year so far for me. We're only in April. We're in the fourth month of 2018, but it's been a very productive and successful year. Each year constantly gets better for me on my entrepreneurial journey. Ever since 2011, it's been a roller coaster, no doubt, but each year it gets better and better, and I'm grateful, I'm blessed for it, and I'm gonna continue to stay prayed up and humble that it can continue this way. I'm close to publishing my novel, the novel that I spoke about many times before in the past. I'm close to publishing it, and pre-orders actually start for my novel this Friday, so I'm gonna keep you guys posted on the information. Pre-orders for Board Games, my debut novel, will start this Friday. But with all of that being said, you know, whenever you're having a peak, whenever you're having a good stretch in business, entrepreneurship, you know, it's very important that you really focus on your work ethic at that point. You always have to focus on your work ethic, no doubt. But when you're up, when you're winning, that's when you really need to get deep and analyze your work ethic. You need to realize and figure out what got you to this point in life, what got you to this period on your entrepreneurship journey, because whatever it is that got you there, you have to continue to practice that. You have to continue to keep the press on. I have a lot of friends that are coaches, and you know, one of the common phrases that they use is keep the press on. In basketball, you know, a press is when you pressure the opposing team full court and you try to pressure them into making a mistake, easy turnover, so you can get an easy score. Well, you have to keep the press on, ladies and gentlemen, when you're up by 10, when you're winning, when you're close to victory, and when things are going good. Because when you start to get lazy, when you start to think that, you know, everything is peaches and cream and, you know, you ain't got to go as hard as you used to go, that's when you're going to start to lose. And then that's when you're going to fall behind. Your mogulism has to stay pumping in your veins, and you have to keep the press on. You have to continue to do what got you to this point. Does that mean you have to continue to exert yourself and exhaust your energy? No, but you have to continue to go through everything that you went through and got you there. So you have to continue to hustle hard. You have to continue to wake up early if you wake up early. You have to continue to take everything serious. You have to continue to make sure that every penny counts. Even if all of your bills are paid, even if you have a profit, you still have to do what got you there. Because the second you let up, that's when the opposing team is going to come back and they're going to beat you. That's when debt is going to overcome you. When you think you finally paid off your debt and you got money to blow, that's when debt is going to come back. That's when your credit score is going to go back down. That's when you're going to start to lose money in your business. That's when you're going to start to lose enthusiasm and morale amongst your team and your employees, because they think that, you know, you're arrogant now and you don't care about anything and you're turning your nose up to people. Keep the press on. Don't get comfortable. Don't get content. Keep the press on. Do not stop practicing what got you there. You ever notice in a game, good coaches, whether they're up by 30 or 10, they still go through everything that got them there. Good coaches coach to the very end until the clock says 0. Your work ethic has to continue. When you're at a peak, your work ethic has to be the same when you're on top of the mountain as it was when you're in the valley. You can never lose steam in your work ethic. Never. Continue to work and continue to make things happen no matter what. Because guess what? Even though things are good right now for myself, I'm using myself as an example. Even though things are great right now, there's a storm coming, because I just came out of a storm. If you're not in a storm, it's because you just came out of one and you're about to go into another one. It's always going to be a storm in life. It's always going to be a storm in your career. It's always going to be a storm in entrepreneurship. So when those storms come and you're relaxed and you're not still working hard, guess what? It's going to knock you on your back. You have to go into a storm prepared. Yeah, you still gonna get hit, you still gonna get bruised, but guess what? If you're still working, if you're still perfecting your work ethic, if you're keeping the press on, that storm ain't gonna hinder you. You're gonna weather that storm, you're gonna get through that storm, and eventually you're gonna win. Do not fall behind. Do not slack on your work ethic. Do not slack on being a good person. Do not slack on doing what is right for your employees, your teammates, and your associates. Do not slack. Because when you slack, you're going to fall behind. You're going to start losing. And you know what? If you start losing, you have to make a comeback. If a comeback is necessary, then a comeback is what's going to happen. Don't be ashamed if you have to make a comeback. Comebacks, everybody has to make a comeback. I made many comebacks in my entrepreneurial journey. That's my message this morning, ladies and gentlemen. If a comeback is necessary, then a comeback has to happen. But never slack on your work ethic. Never take the press off. Whether you're up by 30 or whether you're up by 10, keep the press on. So let's continue to work. Let's continue to imagine reality. It's second quarter, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the second quarter of the year. Keep that momentum. Keep the press on. Never stop doing what got you here. Keep your work ethic. Keep improving your work ethic. And eventually, you're going to win. Just win the day, and we're going to win the year, and we're going to win at life. Have a great day. I'll talk to you next week.